I put a dark gloss on and now I feel like it's all over my teeth. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a tutorial slash review of the Anastasia Subculture palette. So I'm going to take you through the tutorial first, and then at the end of the video I will let you know if I think this palette is worth buying. Alright, so I'm going to start off by baking underneath my eyes with the Kat Von D Lock It Setting Powder. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to get any fallout because I did do my face makeup first. And then I'm going to start the eyeshadow off with the shade Dawn on a fluffy blending brush and just start building up the crease. Then I'm going to pick up Destiny and I'm going to focus this right in the crease. Try not to blow out the shade way too much. I want to make sure that I'm not bringing it up way too high. I'm going to pick up Untamed and start building up the outer part of the lid and then blending it into the crease. And then I'm going to intensify that with Axis, this dark green. And I'm creating that V shape on the outer corner, so it's going to be more of a cat eye. I'm going to pick up a little bit more of Destiny and just use this to blend out that shade. So I'm basically going back and forth packing pigment on the lid and then blending it out up into the crease. And if you feel like you've taken a shadow too far out, you can pick up a clean, fluffy brush and use it to kind of erase your mistake. To start off the lower lash line, I'm going to be picking up New Wave on my CCB 103 brush. Then I'm going to pick up Edge and I'm going to take this a little bit lower just to do a little bit more blending and add a little bit more dimension. And then with All Star, I'm going to define right along the lower lash line, and then I'm going to take this down underneath my eye. So I'm going to be defining what I call my eye bag. After I go in with the dark shade, I'm going to make sure that I pick up a little bit more of that light shade and just use it to blend. You can kind of see that All Star looked kind of dark, kind of just like a line, and then when I went back over it with New Wave, it just blended it out so beautifully. To further define the lower lash line, I'm going to pick up Rowdy on this flat definer brush and just kind of stamp this along the lash line. So I just want to kind of deepen it up because I'm going to be bringing this shade up onto the lid. And then to deepen up the outer part of the lid, I'm going to be going back and forth between Rowdy and Axis. So I'm using Rowdy to deepen up that contrast, but I want to make sure that I'm not losing the green. So I'm going back in with Axis to make sure that the top part of the eye is going to be green and the lower part is going to be more warm. So I tried going in with Electric on the inner part of my lid and I just did not like the way it looked with everything else. So I decided to go over that with Edge and just keep the whole lid matte. And then to blend that into the darker green, I'm going in with Destiny in the center to kind of blend those two shades together. And then I decided that Edge would look really good on the inner corner. So I kept the rest of the eye matte and then popped some shimmer on the inner corner. This didn't have a really intense effect right away, so I had to spritz it with MAC Fix Plus a couple times. So I don't know how I feel about the shadow too much. I did get a little bit of fallout, so thankfully I did bake, and I'm just going to dust away the Kat Von D powder. And then for blush, I'm going to be going in with the L'Oreal True Match blush. This is in the shade Precious Peach. This is like my favorite blush. You guys see this all the time. It's like, I think I use it every single day. To highlight, I'm using Dose of Colors Milk and Honey, and of course I'm using my Morphe highlighting brush. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm hitting all the high points of the face. I decided to go into my waterline with the new Melt All Day Everyday eyeliners. So I'm starting off with Baked, this kind of caramely shade, and then I'm going to go in with this burgundy color, which is 818. After I curl my lashes, I'm going to go in with a few coats of the Dior Show Pump and Volume Mascara. And then for lashes, I'm going in with Lotus Lashes in number 121. To line my lips, I'm using Melt Edible. This is also from the Hotbox collection. And then I'm going to go in with their new matte lipstick. This is in the shade Cherried. Okay, if you hear piano, please ignore it. It's my neighbor upstairs and he just decided to start playing the piano. So to finish off the lips, I'm going to use Get Rich Quick. This is the new Dazzle Glass by MAC. And then to finish off the look, I'm going to be setting my face with the Ready Set Radiance Spray by Tarte. All right, so a lot of you guys, if you follow me on Snapchat, if you follow me on Instagram story or Instagram, then you know I was really excited about this palette when I first saw it. This is the first Anastasia palette that I was actually interested in. I didn't care about the Modern Renaissance palette by that time. There were so many palettes with like red out or like beautiful red burgundy shadows. I was like, okay, whatever, like it's the same thing. But when I saw this one, I thought that it was absolutely fantastic. I loved the colors. I thought it was amazing. I loved the packaging. I didn't know it was velvety. It's velvety. It makes it even better. The box that it comes in is beautiful. I love it. I love the gold writing. I'm really into the like forest green and the yellow. I don't know why, but I actually really do love it. They did a beautiful job. Like the packaging, just the box looks really, really nice. And then of course the palette itself is velvety, and it has Subculture in it has sort of like a leathery feel, which is imprinted in the palette itself. And then it's always nice when the sticker is right smack in the middle. So when I saw the packaging, I thought it was absolutely stunning. And then when you open up, the palette has a nice full-length mirror, and it does come with this little brush, which I didn't use today, but it actually does seem kind of nice. I think this end right here would have been nice for doing the lower lash line. It's pretty similar to the brush that I use for that, and then it just has a blending brush on the other side. I never use the brushes that come with palettes, but it actually does seem nice. So personally, I think that the palette itself is extremely visually pleasing. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the color combinations that they chose. I think it looks really, really different. They chose a lot of the non-conventional colors and then put them all in one palette, basically. So really quickly, I just want to talk about the pigment. That was one of the biggest things. I posted that I was really excited about this on Snapchat, and I was getting so many responses from people saying that it was getting a lot of bad reviews and that people hated it, that it was like patchy, blah, blah, blah. And I was really disappointed. First, I just want to say that when you have an extremely pigmented shadow, you're going to get fallout. It is just going to happen. It is very difficult to get intense pigment without having fallout. I heard somebody say that these are loosely packed eyeshadows, which means that there's going to be more kickback when you put your brush into it, but it also means that with less pressure, you pick up a lot more pigment. So you kind of have to like figure out how to work with it. When I kind of forgot when I first started going in, and I was going in way too much. I was getting like way too much kickback, which can waste a lot of shadow if you're not careful. So make sure that you are using a light hand if you do have this palette and you're having that problem. The shadows themselves are extremely velvety, so pigmented. I mean, you barely even have to touch it and you get so much pigment. So they do go a really long way. I had no problem blending. I don't know why people were having a difficulty with that. Maybe it is because they were so pigmented and they were putting too much product down. I don't know. I thought they were extremely velvety, very blendable, luxurious feeling. This foiled shadow Adorn is just like bronze metal. I'm not a huge fan of this one, Electric, right here. The color is beautiful, but I had to build it up a lot to use it in my my inner corner. I think it's something that you would have to use Fix Plus with. But overall, my review of this palette is extremely positive. I think it's absolutely stunning. I love the colors. It is so different looking, visually pleasing. I think I'm so glad that I have it now because I'm going to be using this all fall. All fall. Can you tell? I'm sick of summer. I am so ready for fall. I think it's well worth the money if you are a makeup enthusiast. And that was such a weird way of saying that. If you are a makeup enthusiast. If you are a beginner, this is not going to be the palette for you because they are very dark, they're very pigmented. I decided to bake underneath my eyes because I was hearing that people were having a problem with fallout. So I just wanted to you know, make sure, and I did get a little bit. So maybe do your eyes first or make sure that you bake because I do. But honestly, just tap off your brush. That's all you gotta do. I do that after every single shadow. So make sure that you're dipping a small amount, tapping off your brush, you'll be fine. But again, if you are a beginner, I wouldn't recommend it because you have to build up that experience with other products before you start going into the ones that are a little bit more complicated. Overall, honestly, I think they nailed it. I think it's badass. I think they nailed it. Everything about it is fantastic. I love it and I highly recommend it. And it just goes with my background. It like goes perfectly with my apartment now. I love it. All right guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. All of that is listed down below and at the end of the video, I believe. If you have the Subculture palette, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, if you have any suggestions for future videos, you can let me know down in the comments, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.